Hello and welcome to the Profitable Baker podcast, the show for bakers who mean business. I'm Annie Bennett, founder of the Home Baking Business Academy, and every week I'll be sharing practical lessons, mindset shifts, and inspiring stories from bakers who are building businesses they love. Because success in this industry isn't about who bakes the fanciest cakes, it's about who builds the strongest business foundations. Let's get started. Hello and welcome back to the Profitable Baker podcast, the show for bakers who don't just want to bake, they want to build a business. Now, today's episode is called Why Your Content Isn't the Problem, Your Strategy Is. If you've ever said, I'm posting all the time but nothing's working, I'm doing reel stories, post carousels and still no inquiries, or I just think the algorithm hates me, then this episode is all for you. Because when it comes to social media, most bakers don't have a content problem. It's not what you're posting that's the problem. What the problem is a strategy. So we've got to reframe where we're coming from. Let me say this clearly. Posting more does not equal growing a business. Being consistent does not automatically create sales, and pretty content doesn't mean profitable content. What a lot of bakers are doing at the moment is just throwing content into the internet, hoping something sticks, posting more and more and more because they think that more equals more engagement, but that's not strategy. That's stressful. And when that doesn't work, you think, oh, well, I'm not very good at the social media then. But you're not, because all it is that you haven't got a strategy, you haven't got a system, you haven't built your foundations well enough. Now, I'm going to give you 5 reasons why your content might not be working, why it might be that you're not getting the likes and the views that you used to. And it's worth saying here that actually social media has changed, particularly over the last year. The way it's run is different. The algorithms are different. So what used to work, perhaps last year, you're suddenly finding isn't working anymore. You're suddenly finding that your feed, particularly Meta, Facebook and Instagram, and also TikTok, you're finding certain things happening. You're finding that there are posts coming up that are a week old. You're finding that you are getting lots of suggestions of people to follow. What you're not doing is seeing people that you follow. So let me tell you 5 reasons why your content might not be working. First of all, this is a big one, and this is what I've learned over the last however many months. The first reason that your content might not be working is that you don't have a goal for each post. Before you post anything, you should know, is this post for? Is it for attracting new people? Is it for building trust with the people you already have? Is it for generating inquiries? Or is it for nurturing existing customers? What is it for? Now, a lot of bakers that I work with, they don't know. They just post, here's a cake I made. Do you want to buy it? That doesn't have an aim. It doesn't have a goal. And when your content has no purpose, you're not going to get any results. So that's number 1, not having a goal for each post. Number 2 is you're not talking to one clear buyer, your ideal client. I'm always talking about ideal client, and it's still really, really important to know who that is. So if your content feels like it's for anyone that likes cake or anyone that likes brownies or anyone, then your message is too wide to convert. I'll use the word convert a lot, converting people, turning them into buyers. When businesses know exactly who their client is, who their customer is, they're much more likely to convert audience into those customers. Businesses grow when content speaks directly to one person who feels seen. When you're on the internet and you see a post or you see an account and you think, they know me really well, they really hit my problems on the head and they know exactly where I'm coming from, that is because you are their ideal client and they know how to speak to you. So the second reason then is that you're not talking to one clear buyer, you're not talking to your ideal client. The third reason why your content might not be working is that there's no sales path. After someone sees your post, what happens next? Where are they meant to go? What are they meant to do? How do they become a customer? A lot of posts don't have a journey at all. They're just posts sort of sitting there, and you might have a DM me to order. Now, I often talk to my members in the academy about I don't like the whole DM me to order because it involves an awful lot of work from the customer. You want to make life really, really easy for your customer. So at the end of your posts, give them a call to action, ask them to come onto your website, ask them to look at your menu, if that's what you want them to do at that particular point. But don't just put up a post of a cake, DM me to order, because you're not going to get any engagement with that. So that was number 3. Number 4, posting randomly with no system. So there's no structure to what you do. Some days you post, some days you don't. Some days you panic, post 5 things in a day, particularly if you've got something that you're particularly selling. But that's not consistent. And the algorithms get confused by that. And you wear yourself out doing that. The way to get seen on social media and to grow is to have a calm and repeatable system. If you know you can't post every day and you don't need to post every day, then don't. 3 times a week, 4 times a week, 2 times a week, as long as it's consistent. That is what the algorithm's like. Basically, what you are doing is you are teaching the algorithm who you are. You are teaching the algorithm who you want to see your content. So you've got to make it really clear. You've got to make it really consistent, and then it will know exactly who you're aiming at. And number 5, the 5th reason that your content might not be working is that you're being visible, but you're not positioning yourself. So if someone lands on your account, can they immediately tell who you are, what you do, who you help, and why they should choose you? If all they are seeing on your account is pictures of nice cakes, that is not telling them anything. Okay, you need to give out that information, pinned things at the top of your Meta and your TikTok. Pin things saying who you are, what your niche is, what you do, who you serve, what your products are. Because that way the algorithms can say, oh yeah, we know exactly what you're about, and we know exactly who to show you your content to. So those are the 5 things. So we're looking at a fix, a simple strategy to fix. Okay. And this is what every profitable baker's content does. First of all, layer 1, attraction, content that gets you seen by the right people. And by right people, I mean, obviously, you want people that are eventually going to buy from you. This is why I, and always have done, because it's always been the case, that it's really not helpful to your account getting loads of followers if they're not people that want cake or want your products and are going to buy from you. If you get loads of followers who are also cake makers, i.e. you've gone into a Facebook group and they've said, oh, let's all follow each other, the algorithm is then just going to show you to other cake makers. And that's not going to get you many customers, is it? So layer 1, attraction, content that gets you seen by the right people. Know who your right people are. Layer 2 is trust, content that shows expertise. It shows you're an authority. It shows you know what you do. It tells your story. Algorithms and social media and people love stories. They show your personality, which is why I often recommend that you show your face, you talk on your social media so that people can get to know you. And content that also shows your values. What do you believe in? What's important for you? And layer 3, conversion. We're talking about that word again, conversion. Content that guides people towards ordering or inquiring or booking a consultation. That's what we're after. So layer 1, attraction, layer 2, trust, layer 3, conversion. Now, a lot of bakers that I see only ever look at one of them, and it's usually the last one, the conversion. Buy my things, buy my cakes. Want one of these? Buy it, order it. What they're not doing is attracting the right people who will buy them, buy those things, and they're not building trust. They're not telling stories. They're not letting people see who they really are. And that is really, really important. So, if you want to increase your value on social media, you want to get more return on it, you want to get more engagement, and you want to get more customers, what you've got to do, you've got to clarify your message. What is it you're actually trying to say? You've got to define your customer. You've got to know who you are aiming at. You've got to have a content system. What are you going to post? When are you going to post it? And then finally, what is it you want your customer or your potential customer to do when they see your post? Where are you leading them to? What's your aim from it? Because it's that strategy that is going to help you build your online presence. Now, if you want more information on social media, this month in the Home Baking Business Academy, we are doing a social media reboot. We are looking at ways to stop people scrolling. We're looking at hook psychology. We are looking at content that converts, and we are looking at strategy. So all the things that I've talked about in today's podcast, we are going to be looking at in detail. If you are interested in joining the Academy, you will be most welcome. Have a look in the show notes and you'll see the link to look at the details, all the value that you're getting, which will include all the live training that's happening this month. So thank you for joining me for this episode of the Profitable Baker podcast. I shall be back next week. Now, next week's episode is a guest episode, and it's actually from a live Q&A that I did just before Christmas. I was talking to Claire Paler, EHO, Environmental Health Officer, and we did a Q&A about kitchen inspections, food hygiene, lots of questions that are all often asked about food safety and all the routines and the processes that you have to go through. And next week's podcast will be all about that. So thank you for joining me today, and join me next week for another episode of the Profitable Baker podcast.